Well, a convoy of buses is ready to start evacuating rebel fighters and their families from besieged areas in the Damascus countryside. It's part of a deal between rebels and Assad to give safe passage to civilians. That agreement also includes swapping prisoners. So far, both sides have each exchanged 19 people. More than 3,500 people will be transported from Zabadani and Madaya, that's been besieged by the regime. In exchange, 8,000 people from Kefraya and Fua in Idlib province will be given safe passage. That's a pro-regime area, but surrounded by rebels. And Ediz Tiyansan has more on that from Hatay, near the Turkey-Syria border.
This is expected to be the largest evacuation deal of its kind in Syria so far, involving around 20,000 people on the ground. As a result of a deal brokered between Qatar and Iran, it will be implemented by the regime and rebel groups like Ahrar al-Sham and Tahrir al-Sham. Now, we are going to see two parallel evacuations taking place. On one hand, you have Kefraya and Fua. These are predominantly Shia pro-regime population in the Idlib province, surrounded and besieged by the rebel groups there. We will see around 15,000 of them leaving that place, being transferred to regime-controlled areas. And on the other hand, you have Madaya and Zabadani, who've been for a long time now also besieged by the regime forces. Now, these are pro-rebel populations, most of which will be transferred this time to the rebel-controlled areas. Now, as part of a goodwill gesture, the two sides have already released 19 prisoners from each side, and we are expected to see further moves from the regime, as they are expected to release around another 1,500 detainees and allow humanitarian aid access to southern Damascus, to places like Yarmouk, Kalb. At this point, we understand that the roads are being cleared to provide a safe passage for these populations, and the evacuation deal is expected to start any moment. But it will be a long process. It will take for about 2 months, and it requires a sustained ceasefire on the ground.